Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today is going to be the revisit of the Sony CD Walkman D-EJ715. So this is the replacement that I bought from eBay, and this one appears to be working fine. You'll see it count up in a few seconds. So the problem with this one is it originally had very bad battery leakage, which eroded away two off the traces. So I've replaced with very thin wire, so now we have continuity between the wires up here and the wires down here. So we've got full continuity where those traces were now gone. But then when I put it back together, there was definitely more life. I thought it was fixed, but the problem is it's not actually properly reading the disc. It's just coming up with no disc. Now you can see this one here is reading the disc. I don't even need to plug it in to show you that. You can see it's counting up. If we press pause, it will pause there, and press play again it will start counting up. I have plugged headphones in, it is working. I haven't checked all the features of this because I'm not really interested. I just want to know what the problem is with this one here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the laser out of this one here, and I'm going to put it into this one here. Then that will tell us if this laser is working or not. Most annoying scenario would be if this has multiple faults. For example, if this is not working, and also if we put the laser in here and it's still not working, it means that this is faulty and this is faulty, in which case then I'm still not going to really be able to work out what's going on. But let's see what's happening to begin with. So let's take this apart. So now in the original episode I thought that the problem was with the laser here, but then other people thought it was with the sled, because the sled here keeps hitting against the side here and doesn't stop, just keeps vibrating against it, so they said the microswitch is faulty. I've looked all over this, I can't see any microswitch to let this know it's at the end of its travel. If you have a look around there, you can see it's just plastic here and plastic here. I've even taken apart this here and I can't see anything. There's nothing at the end of this wheel here or anything that I can see, unless of course somehow it's measuring resistance on this motor, and when it measures resistance it cuts the power to this because it knows that it's on the very inside. I really don't know how this is working. I've seen microswitches in the past on slightly bigger laser assemblies, and yeah, you can see it goes in and a little pin will hit something to hit a switch, but with this there's none of that there at all. Other people thought it might be this control chip here. So this chip here I believe is the one that controls the motor and stuff like the spindle and the sled. Other people think it's to do with corrosion underneath the wires here, because there was such bad corrosion here that maybe there's a hairline break somewhere on one of the wires that I can't, see with my eye or looking through the magnifying glass, but maybe it's there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I still think it's the laser, but let's see who's right and who's wrong. This is the good laser. We're now putting in the bad laser. So we have the good Walkman with the bad laser, or the suspected bad laser. So let's now see what's going to happen. No, it's making the same noise. Can you hear? Right, that's the sled just hitting against the side. I recognise that sound instantly from last time. No disc. Brilliant. Okay, so that says to me right now that the laser is faulty. Let's now put the good laser in this one here and see if anything happens. So that's interesting. Let's see what it does. Fantastic. There you go. Look at it. Brilliant. Oh yes, I'm so pleased with that. Oh, that's just right. Do you know, I'm so happy with that, because do you know when you invest time in something, it's I hate not having an outcome to it, and especially when you do it for a YouTube video as well, because you kind of then feel responsible for all the viewers, because there's nothing worse than not having guessing at the end. But we still don't know now whether it is the laser or the sled, do we? So shall I start dismantling parts out of this one here? And then, the faulty one and the good one, and then see what's happening? And look, I've got classical music, then I'm not going to be getting done for copyright. And a lot of people said that the problem was because I'm playing Jedward. So now, just to prove that myth wrong, what I actually quite like is when I read the comments that a few of the comments are sort of confused about, you know, why am I liking Jedward? And I quite like the fact that maybe some people don't actually know if I'm being serious or not when I've got a Jedward CD, because most people think, well, why have I got a Jedward CD? What I will remind people is that I do have a young daughter who many years ago did like Jedward. And you might wonder, why am I risking the Jedward CD in equipment that's faulty? And that will probably give away the idea of whether I actually like Jedward or not. So you can see there that the Jedward CD, I am sorry to say, is actually working. Right, so I'm really happy with this now. So now we have to just prove, is it a laser problem or is it a problem with the sled? And why is it whacking against there? What's causing it? If I can't see a micro switch in there, why is, you think that would be controlled by the chip then? But obviously it's not. So for me now, this has got exciting. It also means that that ribbon cable connector is not an issue either. Right, so I think first things first, let's... what should I do to begin with? Should I try and swap the lasers over? Slightly wary about touching the lasers because it's very easy to short them out. Let's dismantle it and see what we got. There's no micro switches anywhere. Right, look, you can see there I haven't actually touched it with my hands. So let's swap the lasers over. Right, so this is a suspected faulty laser in the good assembly. So now I suppose I'm going to put it on this one here because I don't want to keep messing with my board because the ribbon cable's a bit dodgy. Okay, so to recap, everything is the same now apart from the laser. So now let's see if it starts working. No, listen to it. Wow, excellent. So it's not the laser. Right, I was wrong. I was sure that it was going to be the laser, so it wasn't the laser. So now, is it the sled, is it the mechanism, or is it the motor itself? So what should we swap now? Well, I suppose since the sled is the thing that's hitting, let's swap over all this mechanism here. No, what am I on about? Silly me. Sorry, it wasn't working. So 100% it is the laser, because that's the only thing I've swapped over. Sorry, I got confused there. So basically, this is the faulty one here, and I've swapped the laser over, and now this one has become faulty. So now if I put this laser in here and it becomes faulty, then we definitely know. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Of course. Oh, I got that completely wrong, didn't I? So it is going to be the laser, but let's just verify that now by putting that in here. So now, even though this is the faulty sled and the, well, not the sled, but the faulty jig, let's call it, with the spindle here and also this motor here, now that I've put the good laser in theory it should work. So with this one here, we have the, let's call it the faulty assembly, but the good laser. This is the laser from the good CD player. So now let's see what's going to happen. Here goes. Yeah, already sounds different. There you go. 100% it's the laser. I was right for a change. Unbelievable. Right, let's. Well, I don't need to plug it in. You can see it's working there. So, what is it with this laser here that's not working? I mean, I don't know, but I'm gonna just take it apart. I'm just gonna measure the caps here, see if they show anything. Measure those, looks like there's little resistors there, see if that shows anything. But maybe the laser has just burnt itself out. Remember, I did already turn it to a very low value, so a lot more voltage would have been going into the laser. I'm sort of reluctant to do any more with it, just in case I was to mess up the chips here. You know, if it was to, I don't know, if this was to ask for too much power, maybe it would burn something else out. But I'm glad anyway that we've proved it is the fault with this here. Is it worth replacing this one here? I looked up the price of them. It's not. Yes, they would be brand new, but you can get the whole working assembly here, a working version, for the same price as just a new laser here. Can't remember exactly what the lasers were called. I did have it all written down in the other video. You can check back on that if you want to know. Yeah, let me just quickly check this, but I think that will probably be the end of the video. Right, so as far as I can see, these two resistors are measuring pretty much the same as this. That capacitor I can get a reading off is in the nanofarads. This capacitor I'm not getting a reading off, but I'm not getting a reading off that one either. I'm not going to unsolder them from the circuit. Do you know what I'm going to do? I am going to just undo this tiny little bracket here, just in case it's something to do with this, where it's slipping or something. I'm just going to swap them over and see if that makes any difference to it. There's nothing else to change over there now, is there? And I don't want to get involved in undoing all this because it's pointless, because this is the laser assembly here anyway. And it's not going to be this rod here because there's nothing on this rod to fail. So now we've changed that little tiny little part over there. Let's see if it is going to make any difference. No, it's still working fine. Well, okay, I am, just to finish the video off, I'm going to put the good assembly into the faulty one now, and just put this back into here, and yeah, just to show you it all working. There we go. So 100% it is the laser, and now when I do it on this one here, you will see it will come up with no disc. So that noise that you're hearing, although it sounds like it's the sled, which it is, it must be because it's trying to move because it's the laser's not seeing the disc. So maybe it keeps on trying to move in, wondering why it's not seeing the disc, and then after about 3 attempts it gives up. Right, this is just an add-on at the end of the video. Do you remember I had real trouble seeing the red laser before? And a lot of people said that it might not actually be lighting up red. Well, it looks like in this case it is. So that also proves now that it is definitely the laser. Because remember, the red light was so faint. It was only when the room was really dark you could see it. But now look at this. So I'm going to zoom in here. Right, now I'm going to press that in there, press play. There you go, look how bright that is. Yeah, there's no way we would have seen that last time. And look, it's vibrating in again because it doesn't see a disc. So what's happening is the laser's not working, and then but it doesn't know the laser's not working. So the sled keeps moving in until it will come up with the fact that there's no disc in. But look, you can see that red light there as plain as could be. Then it goes off. So yeah, just all those things add up. But of course, you don't know whether this red light is. It's easy when you've got two and one's working. So if I had two to begin with, you could see this could have been fault-finded within minutes. But at the time, I thought that tiny red dot was the light working. But no, far too faint compared to what a working one is. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.